Okie dokie artichoke. So Candor. I think that there is some people who've probably heard it, but really don't know what it is. And then a whole host of people who think they know what it is. Maybe they don't. Like, I have a feeling it's a word that gets used poorly. So
Yeah. So the way that we kind of came about this and the way that influence is going to influence kind of this conversation is I was introduced to it. I knew what the word candor was, of just kind of being straightforward and honest. But in Gary Vaynerchuk's book, 12 and a half, which I don't know if my camera will allow
there
it.
you go.
There we go. I'll have a link in the show notes if people want to read it. He talks about specifically kind candor, and the book in general is about the emotional skills that he has found valuable as a leader. And the book's called 12 and a half because his half, the one he's still working on, and then one I think I would argue that most people are working on, is kind candor, which is being straightforward while also being compassionate and really delivering truthful feedback and opinion that hopefully aren't damaging, but are necessary in a constructive and supportive way. So it's that idea of like fostering honest communication instead of, because the problem that he had was he would be nice, nice, nice. Well, he knew someone was messing up, and then it would be nice, nice, nice. This isn't going to work. You're fired.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that example really stood out probably more than anything else in the book, because I used to be very candid as a boss, and then swung to very, not very kind. But like all of a sudden I developed all this like empathy and like connecting with them and not utilizing them just as like tools to accomplish my mission. God did a lot of work there. And then I realized like, oh, now I'm withholding necessary feedback for them to be their best. And so like, I feel like the last 3 years has like been realizing like, oh, I kind of swung this way, like just letting that pendulum go. So would you say that candor is brutal honesty?
Not necessarily. Like,
is it necessary honesty? Like
yeah, so that's a good like definitional question. Let's get like the Webster's definition of candor. The quality of being open or honest in expression, frankness. So it's not necessarily brutal honesty, but it is like saying what you mean. Like it's not dancing around things. It's not painting a prettier picture. It's not, and like how you said you kind of struggled back and forth with candor. I think mine was more and still is, avoidance of confrontation mixed with a super patience of like, people are going to learn the lessons they need to learn. I will help foster them on the journey, but I'm not going to be the one, it's like when you hear your two friends talking about an issue and you're kind of just like, yeah, you're full of shit and here's the solution, but I'm going to not jump in there and I'm just going to let you guys, keep talking and you'll figure it out is kind of generally my approach. But then in business, we get forced into certain things of, when we've had to let people go in the past, like I'm the one who says you're fired because a lot of times
you work for Blue Hills Chiropractic and Kirby gets called into a meeting. There is one of two things that has happened. I am so beyond pissed that I know I cannot deliver the feedback in a kind or constructive way. And like, I will just be mean. You're not getting fired, but you're really in it, or you'll get fired. Yeah. It's never great when you and I, or just you. Usually if it's you and I, you're getting fired. If it's just you, it's Lauryn has tapped out. Well, I have pissed her off so much
because I do have more like monthly or quarterly meetings with employees because we didn't want that to be the case.
Okay, an unplanned Kirby meeting.
But I mean, part of that comes from like it, and it's uncomfortable for both of us. It's you having to like hold your tongue because a lot of times it's kind of an HR thing of like, we don't want this final experience to be something that they leave with a really bad taste in their mouth because, you unloaded emotionally because it's a lot of emotions to get to that point. So it's kind of protecting the business from you talking, and it's uncomfortable for me but necessary that I have to step in. And instead of, I can give it a little bit of preface, but I also know that in consideration for other people's feelings, they don't want a 15-minute preamble that is obviously going towards you're fired. So a lot of those meetings start with, and there hasn't been a lot, we've only fired like 2 or 3 people, but a lot of those, kind of starts with like, hey, this is what's going on. It's been a struggle, but this is going to be your last day and we can talk about it, but I just want you to know that.